Welcome to the deep dive. If you've ever found yourself sitting there at, say, 2 a.m.,
Oh, we've all been there.
right, exactly. You've got like 47 dense PDFs open,
Scattered notes everywhere.
yeah, scattered notes, a deadline looming over you, and you're just trying to synthesize all this conflicting methodology.
It's a massive bottleneck,
Huh?
probably the biggest bottleneck in research today.
It really is. But what if you could just upload everything, right? Just hand it all over, ask an AI to synthesize the data, propose novel hypotheses, and within minutes get back a structured report.
With verified citations and replicable code.
Exactly. Well, today our mission is to unpack a fascinating stack of notes and data that show this is no longer science fiction.
No, it's happening right now.
We are looking at two specific ArtXT papers today, specifically 7.20534 and 2.02276, along with some independent benchmarks and a really in-depth article about a Chinese AI model called Kimi AI.
And just to set the context for you, this is not just another standard chatbot. We are talking about an entirely different paradigm. Kimi AI, which comes from Beijing-based Moonshot AI, represents an agentic revolution.
An agentic revolution, that's a big phrase.
It is, but it's completely rewriting the rules of academic research. In fact, back in July of 2025, the journal Nature referred to this as another DeepSeek moment.
Wow. Okay, let's unpack this because, the word agentic gets thrown around a lot in tech right now.
It's definitely the buzzword of the year.
Right. So based on these Archie's papers, how does Kimi actually work under the hood? And why does that word agentic change everything for the user?
Well, to really get why it's agentic, we have to look at the architecture first. The core tech here is Kimi K2. It's a mixture of experts model, or MOE.
Okay, and MOE,
Right. And it boasts 1 trillion total parameters.
which is massive.
A trillion! Yeah, but here's the trick. It efficiently uses only 32 billion active parameters per token.
So it's not lighting up the entire trillion parameter network every time it thinks of a single word.
Exactly. It's highly efficient. But the real secret sauce, the thing that actually makes it agentic, is the post-training. The sources highlight this massive agentic data synthesis combined with end-to-end reinforcement learning.
So it's learning by doing, essentially.
More than that, it relies on verifiable rewards and this fascinating self-critic mechanism. It literally reasons while using tools in real time.
Okay, wait, a self-critic mechanism. Break that down for a second. If it makes a mistake, it just fixes it.
Pretty much.
You
Let's say it writes a Python script to analyze your data and the code throws an error. Older models would just stop, or they'd hallucinate a fake answer.
Right, they just boldly lie to you.
Exactly. But Kimi reads the error log, realizes its own logic was flawed, rewrites the code, and runs it again, all on its own.
That is wild. And this didn't just happen overnight, right? The notes map out a pretty aggressive timeline of evolution for this model.
Very aggressive. It started in July 2025 when the base Kimi K2 launched.
Right. And then November 2025 is when things get really serious with Kimi K2 thinking.
Yeah, that's the absolute academic star of this lineup.
The notes say it features a 256K token context window. I mean, for you listening, to put that in perspective, that is enough memory to upload your entire doctoral thesis, plus maybe 50 supplementary papers all at once.
And because of that self-critic mechanism we talked about, K2 thinking can execute 200 to 300 sequential tool calls entirely autonomously.
Without asking the human for help.
Completely autonomously. And that November update also dropped heavy mode.
Heavy mode.
Yeah, instead of just running one thought process, it runs 8 reasoning trajectories in parallel for a single problem and then aggregates the best outcome.
Okay, so that was November, but then January 26 arrives with Kimi K2.5, and this introduces multimodal vision and something called Agent Swarm.
Agent Swarm is a game changer.
Let me use an analogy here for Agent Swarm because it can be hard to visualize. Imagine you break a task down, right? Agent Swarm deploys up to 100 parallel agents to work on it.
Simultaneously.
Yes, so it reduces latency by up to 4.5 times. It is literally like having a team of 100 mini researchers all working simultaneously on different parts of your project while you just go grab a cup of coffee.
It's incredible.
But, in the AI space, there is a lot of hype.
Oh, constant hype.
Yeah. So transitioning from the architecture, the source materials we have for this deep dive are actually packed with verified independent benchmarks. Proof over hype.
And what's fascinating here is just how thoroughly it crushes those benchmarks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the hard data. The Humanities Last Exam, or HLE.
That's a notoriously difficult test,
Designed specifically to be impossible for AI to just guess its way through. Kimi scores 44.9% with tools.
which establishes it as the state-of-the-art for open weights models.
Exactly. Then you have BrowseComp, which tests web navigation. Kimi
Yeah.
scores 60.2%.
And the human baseline on that is what, 29.2%?
Right, 28.2. It completely crushes the human baseline. It navigates, it filters out all the web noise, and returns a ready-to-use state-of-the-art report.
Because humans get tired. We get distracted by bad websites. The AI doesn't.
Exactly. And on SW Bench Verified, the base K2 hits 65.8%, and K2 Thinking hits 71.3%.
Those are massive coding benchmarks.
Massive. It also scores 75.1% on GPQA Diamond and 53.7% on Live Code Bench.
But the one that really stood out to me for the average academic was the long-form writing score.
Yeah, 73.8%.
Right. And the Moonshot team specifically notes in their paper that it produces text that is, quote, rigorous, logically coherent, and substantively rich, end quote. Which means they've clearly tuned this thing to avoid that robotic, fluffy AI voice we all hate.
Yeah, definitely have. It sounds like an actual academic wrote it.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Benchmarks are one thing, but how are people actually using this? The notes show how actual graduate students and early career researchers over in China are using the specific Kimi researcher mode.
They're treating it like an invisible co-author.
Yeah, the demand is insane. When the beta launched, the spot sold out in 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Because of what it can do with literature reviews? Imagine uploading 30 dense PDFs. Kimi plans out the entire review. It searches the web. It cross-references citations.
And synthesizes the contradictions. That's the part that blew my mind. It actually maps out where the papers disagree and generates comparative tables for you.
Which saves weeks of work. But I think the ultimate proof of this agentic capability is the math derivation example.
Yes, from the technical paper, we have to talk about this.
It is a crucial detail. So they gave Kimi K2 Thinking a PhD-level hyperbolic normal distribution problem from a 2019 paper by Nagano and colleagues.
Okay, a highly complex math problem.
Very complex. Over 23 interleaved steps.
Wait, 23 steps?
23 steps. Mixing web search, Python execution, visible reasoning. It derived the exact formula, and I mean the exact formula. Length of k of n equals n minus 1 times the natural log of k plus 1/2 the natural log of n plus 1 minus 2 minus 1 over n times k squared, where k is the natural log of the square root of 2 plus 1.
Wow.
It didn't summarize the paper, it did the math. This borders on actual co-authorship.
That is just staggering. And then you add the multimodal capabilities from K2.5 into the mix. You can upload charts, tables, or even, and this is crazy to me, video of a lab experiment.
Right, uses OCR to extract the data from the video.
And it actually proposes improvements to the physical experiment itself. It watches your lab setup and says, hey, you're doing this wrong.
It acts as a lab partner. But we do need to step back for a second.
Yeah, we have to look at the catch. We need an impartial assessment of the ethics, the risks, the reality of all this.
Because it's not perfect.
No, it's not. We're looking at the technical and regulatory hurdles without taking sides, just strictly going by source data.
And this raises an important question about deployment. The primary hurdle, predictably, is hallucinations.
Right, the self-critic is good, but it still makes mistakes.
It still requires a human check.
Yeah.
Especially for citations. A great tip for you listening. If you use a system like this, always prompt it with, show me the sources, and then cross-reference those sources with tools like Semantic Scholar.
Never trust the AI bibliography blindly.
Never. The second major hurdle the sources outline relates to bias and data sovereignty.
Because it is a Chinese model.
Exactly. There may be cultural biases in the training data, or it might have limited access to certain Western academic papers. But more importantly, there's the data sovereignty issue.
Right. Uploading unreleased, sensitive research data to servers in China, depending on what country you're in or what university you work for, that might require VPNs and some very strict ethical evaluations.
You have to follow your institution's compliance rules. You cannot just upload patient data or proprietary lab results to a foreign server without clearing it first.
Absolutely. We're just reporting what the data says here, but compliance is a massive hurdle, and that bleeds right into the third issue. Authorship dependency.
Yes, who is the true author if the AI did the 23-step math derivation?
Academic journals do not have clear rules for this right now. The guidance from the sources is that users must declare their AI use.
And you have to maintain final human control. If the AI hallucinates a math error and you publish it, That is on you. The liability is yours.
You can't blame Kimi. And finally, the last hurdle they mention is computational cost.
Running Agent Swarm is not cheap.
Deploying 100 parallel agents requires massive compute. So the advice is to start with the lighter thinking mode for daily tasks and only use Swarm when you hit a real wall.
Exactly. Match the tool to the problem.
So what does this all mean for you? Synthesizing everything from these RCIF papers and the benchmarks, the core takeaway is that Kimi is democratizing deep research.
The kind of research that used to require a top-tier lab and 10 grad students.
Right. Academic productivity is no longer measured in hours staring at a screen. It's measured in discoveries per day. The AI does not replace you. It empowers you. The researcher who masters these agentic tools is going to publish more, they're going to publish better, and they'll do it faster.
It really leaves you with a final thought to ponder, building on all this data. If AI agents can now autonomously generate hypotheses, write the code to test them, and draft the literature review,
Yeah.
at what point does the definition of human ingenuity shift from actually creating the knowledge to merely curating the questions we allow the AI to ask?
That is a profound question. Are we just the directors of the swarm now? Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We highly encourage you to keep exploring these papers on your own. Remember, AI doesn't take away jobs, it takes away the boredom. See you next time.